lifting up Jesus and opening His Word from Australia, Denmark, Israel, Japan, New Zealand, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, Singapore, South Africa, United Kingdom, Thailand, the Philippines, United States, and throughout the world. You're watching Moriel TV.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, Scripture tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, there must be factions among you to prove which is true. The notion of some kind of an institutional or organizational unity with a hierarchy is the oneness of the church is ridiculous. It is totally alien to apostolic thought. It's not what Jesus taught. The apostle said there must be factions, not a faction, factions among you to prove which is true. For the true church to be visibly identified from the false church, there must be factions. The unity, the oneness taught in the New Testament is the unity of the Spirit, one faith, one baptism. Its church is held together by a common doctrine and a common faith. It's not about denominations or alliances of churches or any kind of theocratic or theocratically political entity. It's not about a papacy. It's not about a papacy that is essentially the same as the pontifical organization of the pagan religions of ancient Rome that were adopted by Roman Catholicism after the time of Constantine and the Emperor Justinian and so forth. Catholicism thinks in terms of theocratic, organizational, and institutional unity. The Scripture teaches spiritual and doctrinal unity. Now, not only do they have the wrong idea of unity, but they're not even honest about their own disunity. Long before the Reformation, you had rivalries within the Roman Catholic Church, the religious orders, the Dominicans, the Franciscans. They were at odds with each other. They would actually torture each other physically in inquisitions. The Dominicans would torture the Franciscans and so forth. You had the Jansenist schism within Roman Catholicism. You had multiple popes, sometimes 2 and 3 at the same time, and whichever pope had the most military muscle backing him would declare the others to be anti-popes. The rival banking families of Italy would always try to have their man in the papacy, be it the Borgia family or the Medici family. The Roman Catholic Church was always divided. Religious orders were schools of theology. You had those who followed the ideas of Augustine, which were basically Platonic, Platonized Christendom, as opposed to those who would later follow the ideas of Thomas Aquinas, which was Aristotelian, Aristotle's philosophy applied to Christendom. It was always divided. Not only that, but when the Roman Empire split between the Greek-speaking East, that is the Byzantine Empire, and the Latin West, the same thing happened. When the Crusades invaded the Middle East, they tried to force the Eastern Orthodox churches, who went under the Patriarch of Constantinople, back under Rome. And so they said to the Eastern Orthodox churches, such as the Maronite Catholics in Lebanon, oh, your priest can marry. We'll let you have married priests. Just come back under the Pope. You can keep your Greek liturgy instead of a Latin liturgy. Just come back under the Pope. It was all about theocratic politics, money, and political power. That's what it was about. It was not about the unity of the Spirit or doctrine. The Roman Catholic Church to this day is fragmented between its Latin rite and its Greek rite. In one, marriage is acceptable for the priesthood, and the other, it isn't. In the Latin rite, they say, well, Jesus wasn't married, and the priest is like a representative of Jesus. So because Jesus was married to the church, a priest is married to the church, therefore a priest can't have a human wife. But they completely moved the goalpost and changed the theology to to bring the Greek rights of the Roman system back under the papacy. It's all hypocrisy and corruption. It remains divided to this day. You've got Roman Catholic theologians who are left-wing, such as Schierzebecks in Holland, and Hans Kung, who was a Jesuit and remained one, or Teilhard de Chardin, another Jesuit. Their ideas were so radical, even in some cases New Age. It doesn't even resemble any semblance of what could even be called Christendom, let alone biblical Christianity. You've got Roman Catholic priests telling people in confessionals it's okay to practice birth control even though the church says it's wrong. You've got people who just don't believe in the integrity of the church, nor should they, because of the widespread international pedophilia. The idea of the united Roman Catholic Church being one is a farce. It's nonsense. It's never been united. It has always been divided. What it has been united in is its politics. But there are competing interests philosophically, theologically, financially. There are competing interests within it, and always have been. It's about political unity. It's sort of like now. You've got Donald Trump challenging the American Republican Party establishment. Can he organize the rest of the party and the establishment Republicans in back of him to beat Hillary Clinton? Nobody can believe that the Republican Party is united ideologically in what it believes. And with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, nobody can believe that the Democratic Party is united. You've got a socialist and you've got a complete hypocrite who'll be in anything to get elected. Then you've got, in Britain, the same thing. The Tory Party. You've got the old Margaret Thatcher conservatives who follow the ideas of Bellflower and of Disraeli and of Churchill. But then you've got the David Cameron so-called conservatives who are not conservatives. They're just Tony Blair's sitting on the opposite side of the aisle. There's no unified Conservative Party in England, and there's no unified Labour Party in Great Britain. It's all make-believe. But for political purposes, they put on the facade of being one. The same as the crooked politicians in the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, the Tory Party. They put on a facade of being one. The Roman Catholic Church puts on a facade of being one. It was never one. But their one is not God's one. Their oneness is theocratic politics, a theocratic monolith. God's oneness is unity of the Spirit. There must be factions among you to prove which is true. My name is Jacob Prasch. Thank you so much for listening and for your question. God bless.